Ugh, that Jake Paul fight sucked. Netflix needs to get their service in order. Alright, let's see how my FanDuel's doing.
Whoa!
Well, since I'll be fantasizing about groceries for the next 2 weeks in circulars, how about that video? So, what do you get when you fuse ABC, CBS, UPN, Fox Kids, Saban, and Deke Entertainment? You get Toon Disney. And Jetix.
Illuminating television.
Toon Disney, much like Disney Channel, was a channel to branch off a lot of the animated shows that used to run on the Disney Channel on its own block. However, it gets a lot deeper. UPN, most of you guys know it in the East Coast as My 9 or Pix 11, Alpha and Gen Z, y'all don't apply to this, would have a block called The Disney Afternoon on September 10th, 1990. Shows that would air on the block consisted of DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Adventures, and Tailspin, which was originally made for the Disney Afternoon. Short-lived shows were Raw Toonage and Mazupalami, which had characters from Bonkers. Disney also had a 2-year rule, meaning if they released a movie and the box office gross was high, a TV spinoff would follow it, which at the time would release TV spinoffs for Aladdin and Timon and Pumbaa. By '94, Darkwing Duck and Goof Troop would be the additional shows on the block. Disney would buy and merge ABC on July 31st, 1995. This merger was at the time $19 billion. And you might think, why does this even matter? Well, I'm glad you asked. Disney, after the merger, would install Disney's One Saturday Morning on September 13th of 1997. Disney Afternoon would discontinue months after, while on top of this, bought most of the smaller animation studios such as Deke Entertainment and Jumbo Pictures. I'm pretty sure you knew that. And shows that were airing on the block were Doug, originally from Nickelodeon, Disney's Recess, which was made for One Saturday Morning exclusively, Pepper Ann, and short-lived shows such as Science Court. Soup to Nuts will get its own video in due time, because people really sleep on home movies. While certain classic shows like The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh were thrown around from ABC and UPN. The shows that were ending seasons or short-lived can only be seen on Saturday mornings or weekday blocks. That's where Toon Disney comes in. During the Disney Channel 15th anniversary, Toon Disney would launch on April 18th of 1998. The first show on the block was The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Toon Disney would spend most of its first year as a sneak preview for potential viewers to subscribe to the channel, as it was another subscription channel on cable providers. The early segments on the block were 12 Days of Christmas, The Magical World of Toon, Screaming Meanies, Friday Night Movie, and Pumbaa Bowl. Toon Disney would be the only Disney block to host advertisers on the channel, while both Disney Channel and Playhouse Disney were still commercial-free for viewers. By September 2000, Toon Disney would rally up to 20 million subscribers, and the same year would get the One Saturday Morning lineup and eventually the Disney 1-2 roster. During the transition, Deke Entertainment would go into Disney subsidiary status, and all Deke shows were given over to Toon Disney as reruns, except for Saturday AM. Additional blocks that were airing during the Y2K were Chillin' with the Villains, Disney Princess Party Palace, and Toons in the House. Fast forward to 01, Disney would purchase Fox Family worldwide after Saban Entertainment would struggle with the Fox Family channel in ratings and fail to buy out News Corp stock. Disney would buy the company for $5.9 billion and rebranded to ABC Family worldwide. And I know what you're thinking. Why does any of this have to do with Toon Disney? It's a Toon Disney video. Well, I'm glad you asked that too, because you're going to have to bookmark that. Well, at the same time would launch the Most Animated Kids short. In addition, would change up block schedules with At Toon, which will replace Toons in the House and double feature movie show. And with that comes everyone's favorite and overtly requested Disney block. Because yes, I do read your comments.
Jetix!
Before we get into Jetix, let's reopen that bookmark to Fox Family Worldwide. Now remember the information I gave you, because without that, there is no Jetix. To make a long story short, this channel was first Pat Robertson's family channel. Yeah, that Pat Robertson. Which would later become the CBN channel and would make way too much money to be non-profit, and to avoid any legal ramifications, CBN would branch off into International Family Entertainment and would still be under the CBN name and still had to air the 700 Club. In '97, Haim Saban and Fox Kids Worldwide bid on the IFE. The main goal was that Fox Kids, which was primarily Fox Kids shows with a whole Saban Entertainment lineup, would have a channel to compete with the big three. The bid would close at $1.9 billion, with News Corporation ending the bid. Viacom would drop off of the bid, while Fox Kids Worldwide would rebrand as Fox Family Worldwide. However, the 700 Club still aired, as Pat Robertson still wanted it to be aired. Go figure. As 4 years went by and many investments went into the channel, views would tank. Saban would also force News Corp to sell its stock. That wouldn't go well. By October 4th, 2001, Disney would buy Fox Family Worldwide for $2.9 billion and a $2.3 billion debt buyout, meaning that Disney was in full control of Saban Entertainment and Fox Kids International Europe and Latin America. Fox Family International would lose all of the Saban shows, and Deke would bid on Fox Kids and lose that bid to 4Kids, making Fox Kids into Foxbox in 2002. Fast forward to 2004, Fox Kids and ABC Cable Group would join brands to create Jetix. Also, kids from special focus groups came up with that name. The name was a testament to Disney and Fox Kids collaborating and creating a name meaning action and adventure. The block would be on in the mornings on ABC Family and at night on Toon Disney. Countries like Latin America, who would only have Fox Kids, would get Jetix as a replacement. Released on the weirdest and most romantic day, Valentine's Day 2004, Jetix would release a trading card telecast game called Jetix Cards Online. The digital cards were online, and kids can get into tournaments where on TV they can see who was on the top scoreboard. Jetix was like no other block, mainly because it owned a lot of the Saban and Deke entertainment shows and would air them as reruns. All of the old and new Power Rangers found more airtime through Jetix. The shows made domestically were Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, Get Ed, and Yin Yang Yo. Foreign-made cartoons for the block was Puka, as well as certain anime titles. Now, to go into the complete downfall of it all. Toon Disney with a mixed audience would collide with Jetix. The main problem with Jetix was that it was a male demographic channel with ages 6 to 12. And I'm not against that. I'm not against having a male or boy-based channel, but we all know how they end up. However, Disney would want to target that demographic more by having a channel dedicated to sports, video games, and cool extreme topics. By August 6, 2008 was when the channel would be going in a different direction. ABC Family would not air Jetix and would exclusively air on Toon Disney. Months later, on December 8, 2008, Disney would raise 96% stock in their investments to Jetix Europe, eventually buying the autonomy of Jetix Europe. It would be delisted on the foreign stock exchange, while every country that had Jetix would fold into Disney XD, the new all-in-one channel. Disney XD launched on February 13th of 2009. The name Disney XD doesn't really mean anything. In fact, it was meant to appeal to the young Gen Z and Alpha audiences. This was also the time when the internet was becoming popular, and so Hollywood wanted to cash in on that. So if you remember, terms like Om Nom Nom, LOL, and my favorite one, Pond, if you remember, League of Legends back in the day, they just made shows about that. Remember those days? So it was apparent that a whole channel was going to get an internet term. The early shows were a combination of Toon Disney and Jetix shows, along with new shows such as Aaron Stone, their first show, Kick Buttowski's Suburban Daredevil, Kid vs. Kat, Zeke and Luther, I'm in the Band, Kickin' It, and A Pair of Kings. The channel would also be in production of their first movie, Skyrunners. Disney XD would also tap into making internet-based shows with actual influencers like Walk the Prank, with guest stars and former Disney star and UFC fighter Jake Paul. My groceries. And his brother Logan Paul. By 2012, Disney XD would have a dedicated Marvel block called Marvel Universe. Fast forward to 2016, anime would make its way onto the channel, such as Naruto Shippuden and Pokemon Sun and Moon the series, as the Pokemon Company would move from Cartoon Network after 16 years of airing the series. By 2017, Disney would make 4 new shows: Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Milo Murphy's Law, the reboot DuckTales, and Big Hero 6 the series. As the original series became successes, more shows shows would cross over from the Disney Channel to what is current-day Disney XD. Toon Disney was a general fusion of many companies that Disney acquired over the years. From Disney Afternoon to Disney's 1-2, the channel would host reruns to gain an audience, only then to make shows on its own to stand on its own 2 feet like House of Mouse. Jetix would be a channel block ahead of many channel blocks. With the same weight as Toonami, this channel could have been something bigger. However, it was the investors not keeping the autonomy of the channel the complete downfall of it. Disney XD was meant to cater to the kids of the new generation with everything internet and current trends kids gravitate to. Disney, being a huge monopoly, would want into anything that stays current, and while Disney XD isn't like Toon Disney at all, it kept the spirit of the channel with the original programming and reboots such as DuckTales. Currently, people still hold up certain titles like Wander Over Yonder and Star Vs as the shows related to younger and older audiences. With the current state of Disney, best be prepared to see more Lucasfilms and Marvel related titles, as most people have been hip to the new releases. And with the current state of animation, it would be very long before we see any show that can top the original shows that recently ended. As for Disney Plus, well, we all know that most Toon Disney titles would never make it on there, so they will be forever in the Disney vault. However, you can still watch it on third-party sites. So Toon Disney might have gotten a rebrand, but it sure isn't forgotten.